afternoon, friends and family, and thank you for joining us today at my Harlem Portraits. These are the first steps of this new project that consists of a series of interviews and conversations with famous and less famous people, politicians, civil rights activists, artists, performers, athletes, but also conversation with ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things, and they do it every day, giving back to their community in that way, and doing it humbly, working behind the scene, making no noise. I meet these people every day in Harlem, and that's why I said I felt compelled to tell their story, because their story is a story of faith, of moral strength, of endurance, of resilience, and of triumph. It's a story of the influence of Black culture and excellence in America and in the world. This project has intention of entertaining you, but at the same time inform you about less known and sometimes hidden figures in science, in business, in politics, in civil rights movements. The main objective is to shed a light on Black excellence in all its forms, and also open up new perspective from which revisit and reconsider some of the so-called historical facts as they've been told us. This will allow us to interpret in a more clear way what is going on in the world today. And that's why we are here. Today, we are talking about excellence in theater. And when we talk about excellence in theater, we talk about the National Black Theater. And we have here with us to talk about the important work of the National Black Theater, Jonathan McCrory, who is the artistic director for the theater. And welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. National Black Theater is New York City's oldest Black-owned theater and the nation's first revenue-generating Black art complex. It is a model, a sustainable theater. It is being founded in 1968 by Dr. Barbara Ann Teer, who was really a visionary because he was an artist. She was an artist, but she was also an entrepreneur. And she believed in economic freedom and bought the building.
Yes.
Right on 125th Street and Fifth Avenue. I mean, she couldn't have bought a better place. Since its inception, NBT's mission has been that of engaging the arts for social change, economic growth, and build the community through transformation in ways which are really innovative. Throughout its rich history, it has maintained a very strong commitment to create a space for new and underrepresented voices to be discovered and to be supported. It has presented unique and diverse perspective on the very many critical issues of equity and social justice which affect our nation. Leveraging the power of theater arts with Black culture and creativity, the National Black Theater has produced more than 300 original works. 300. It has toured globally and recently has launched an international extension, the National Black Theater of Sweden.
Yes.
And we are going to talk about that. And then there is another point of pride for the theater. It houses the largest collection of Nigerian new sacred art in the Western Hemisphere. It is now helmed by Sade Lythcott, who is Dr. Teer's daughter, and as we said before, Jonathan McCrory, who is here with us, who is the artistic director, And in anticipation of its building's imminent redevelopment,
Yes.
National Black Theatre is celebrating this year its 50th anniversary with a series of production in spaces outside of the theatre, including the production of 125th Street and Freedom. So, Jonathan,
Yes.
after this long introduction that was necessary to present a little bit of what you've been doing, please tell us what is this 125th Street and Freedom. Tell us what you are doing now. What are the most important initiatives you have and your projects?
So, I want to say thank you. Thank you for creating the opportunity and the space for National Black Theatre to be able to talk about who we are, where we're going, and what we've been able to do. I think 50 years, it's really beautiful that at 50 we're having a reimagination. That many people at 50 have a reflection of like either a midlife crisis or like not being able, but like life before, but like we're having a conversation about what is possible, leaning into the future of possibility and saying and leaning into the curiosity of the unknown. And that has to, and the redevelopment of the property gave us the gift of that. We launched a program called NBT Beyond Walls, which allowed for us to take the pedagogy that we've been cultivating for 50 years and share it nationally, locally, and internationally. So the premise of the program is to re-engage and earn the word national and reignite that energy that's needed so that we can really have the conversation of being the National Black Theatre, with a vision set on being the destination for Black culture through the zeitgeist of theater. So NBT Beyond Walls helped to launch the National Black Theatre of Sweden. NBT Beyond Walls helped us to go to Arts Emerson and do Peculiar Patriot, so tour the Peculiar Patriot. Thank you. But to tour that production to Arts Emerson, and then also partner with Woolly Mammoth to bring the production to Woolly Mammoth. NBT Beyond Walls also created this beautiful opportunity for us to build a beautiful partnership with the Apollo Theater. And we got to create a brand new musical, or in the process of developing a brand new musical with Tony Award-winning Jason Michael Webb and Leland Thompson called Wildflower. NBT Beyond, oh yes?
I have to stop you there because
please.
I saw the play and
the concert, yes, I saw the concert.
At the Apollo,
yes.
And this is, oh my God.
It's a gift. I mean,
so
just a gift,
amazing.
Just a true gift, and that is NBT Beyond. I mean, that's the magic of reimagining and not being static and like what the practice of what you've always done, but having the opportunity to actually grow your tentacles and actually allow yourself to breathe differently. And yes, does it come with the shock of being like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on? Yes, but it's just like a baby learning how to walk again. When you learn how to walk, then you learn how to run. By learning how to run, then you might start talking about a bike or learning how to drive, and it's just like, why not have evolution be a part of your progress? And so at 50, we're able to have Wildflower happen at the Apollo, and that partnership and that opportunity to grow. And then we also are able to build a partnership with the Schomburg and be able to create work there when we did In Perpetual Flight, the migration of In Perpetual Flight, the migration of the Black body, and looking at how we as Black folks have been migrating ever since we were ripped from Africa. There was a scholar there who actually really blew our mind and really thinking about, and she said this quote, the Black body has been in perpetual flight ever since it was ripped because it's always been searching for a home. When it was ripped and brought into slavery and planted in America and forced to call this home, the rooting, the migration of it since that transatlantic slave trade trajectory has been about trying to figure out, where can I plant my feet again? Where are my roots? What is family? And having to be really in a shifting modality consistently. So allowing us to really, again, reimagine what it looks like to allow for history and culture and activism to come into play. Also having the conversation and then leading into this place called 125th and Freedom, a 5-hour site-specific journey that takes you on a meditation on with the premise being if Harriet Tubman was alive today, how would she free black people? And Emily Noel Golden, who was our first inaugural director in residence, so NBT has launched a director residency program where we have a couple residencies, but this residency program in particular produced this work where we give a black director a home for 18 months with the tools, the resources, the breath to be able to just dream and imagine. I mean, I think that what makes NBT really special in everything that we do is that we position this thing called soul. I think Dr. Teer would framed it as, and don't quote me on this, but framed it as the energetical force that is you, that lives inside of you. Not the religious dogma that is you, but this energetical force that just woke you up this morning. The soulfulness that made you lean into your curiosity, and the soulfulness that allowed for grace to always be a part of your path. And I think that what we seek to do is give artists, black artists in particular, a space to come into relationship with that vibration of soul.
And you do that with a clear roadmap.
Yeah.
Every year, your objective has a title.
Yes, has a clear mandate for us to really say, we're inviting you on a journey. This is a well thought out journey. Community, will you come on this journey? And for this year, it was Liberation, a journey beyond walls. Because we were asking our community, will you go on a psychedelic, meditative, soulful, spiritual journey with us that will not just take you to National Black Theater, but take you to Boston to see something on Art Emerson, take you to DC to see something on Woolly Mammoth, even might take you to Sweden and wonder what we're doing in Sweden, might take you to the Apollo to see us start new musicals, might take you to the Schomburg, might take you to Italy. It might also take you to the streets of Harlem and look at 16 different sites over its ecology and its breadth.
Beautiful.
And have a conversation with what is this thing called liberation? What is this thing called freedom of the black body and black mind? And where are we now in that trajectory looking at this space called 125th Street, this corridor, this magical space that has been the nexus of the liberation and the articulation and the celebration of black culture. When you said Dr. Teer so rightfully chose this landmark of an intersection, 5th Avenue, 125th Street. So the logic behind it, or she's coined to say that she wanted 125th Street because she can go anywhere in the world, and if you say 125th Street, they would say black culture. They would just know black culture. And then you say, oh, I also own the intersection of 5th Avenue. They know it's opulence, and they know that it has a bit of regalness. So she wanted the intersection that allowed for black culture, black liberation to intersect with opulence, to intersect with that whole notion of 5th Avenue and Saks Fifth Avenue. And what better place to own and occupy for black liberation? To say this is going to be a home for us for decades. In 50 years, we're
Nobody can make rent higher.
No, true. But then, like it's just like now thinking 50 years from that declaration. Now you're talking about 50. Like we're visioning 50 years from now. What does it mean? What does it mean with this redevelopment? Also with NBT Beyond Walls and Sade, myself, Nabi Faison, Abasola, our board are really trying to wrap our hands around our mind, our psyche around how do we build on this beautiful diamond we were given as a gift. And just to give a little bit more around 125th and Freedom, which is just beautifully had a feature in the New York Times, which we're so grateful for.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was
you have to send it to me.
It was just featured in the New York Times. It's beautiful. Shout out to Cheryl Duncan and her PR team. They did a wonderful job with that. That really the landscape of the opportunity is for us and for each of us individually, and I think this is what Sade and I do so beautifully, is create a table for anyone, regardless of your racial identification, the construct that you identify as. What does it mean to create a space for human through a very specific cultural lens called black culture?
Absolutely right. When you say that, you make me think you were at the Spring Gala concert of the Apollo, right?
Yes.
And the hostess, when she said, there is two types of white people.
Yes.
White people
Yes.
and people who happen to be white.
Yes.
she gave me the definition of who I feel I am. And that's very, very important because it goes for white, for black, for Chinese, for Japanese. We just happen to be born when we are born.
Yes.
And who we are inside has nothing to do with what our perception and perception of other people have of us.
And how we challenge the construct that we are born into.
Exactly.
Because I think that MBT is an example of that challenge. Of that challenge of when, in 1960, if we were thinking about Harlem in 1968, it was not the most ideal situation that we now see today. And that there was a black woman from East St. Louis who said, I was going to take my whole family, we're going to go up to Harlem, and I'm going to create a space that would be the declaration of our liberation. And that I'm going to invest in my people and in my community. And I'm going to invest in not only in a simple way of creating a company, but also I'm going to invest in ownership. And that ownership's going to be able to provide almost like when, like,
a hub.
Yes. And create a generative hub that would allow, I mean, a program that doesn't get so much shine sometimes is our EAP program, our Entrepreneurial Arts Program, which gives 250 nonprofit organizations and individual artists a home to produce brand new work. Yes, we're so, I mean, Sade and I are extremely...
Are you doing that also?
So Nabi Faison, he is the director of that program. And Sade and I are so extremely proud and we're so extremely elated about the theater arts program and what it's able to do and how it's able to really create this platform for us to live inside of our heart mission, which is being a creative laboratory for black artists to be able to do their work. And equally, a part of that is this EAP program, which gives 250 nonprofit organizations and individual artists a home to be able to till in the land that many are being excommunicated out of or taken out of because of raising rents, X, Y, and Z. There are multiple different ways that are chipping at it, but for a National Black Theater, our stand is we can always be a home.
Exactly.
Because of what our founder was able to purchase and buy for the next generation of artists.
And the amazing thing with National Black Theater is also that you and Sade form a duo who is really avant-garde. And who dares being avant-garde and showing and bringing everybody else in to understand what it is.
I mean, let's 125th and Freedom is a dance piece, right? And it's bringing us, for most people who know us, they think of us as a theatrical vehicle through us, which we are, but our founder was a dancer first. And so, like, this piece at 50, again, it allows us to go back to our roots, allows us to reawaken some of the inciting collisions that actually made MBT become the theatrical space that we all love, and that when you walk into the doors, you breathe differently about. And so, like, to come at 50 with a piece called 125th and Freedom, and to really make that the central piece of our main stage for our season, and then also to utilize that to launch a program that is reawakening a director's ability to be uplifted in this community, in this network. I don't know any better way. I don't know any other better way to say that we are 50. I don't know any other better way to say that we are not living inside of our mission and our vision. I don't even know any better way to say that we are radically setting ourselves up to actually create the space so that Black artists can breathe differently, not feeling like they have to succumb or have to live up to the expectations of cultural erasure or cultural appropriation, which
be themselves and show
the world the light that is you.
Exactly.
And the cultural light that is you. I mean, that's...
Why am I doing this? Because the culture that I found in Harlem, I did not find it anywhere else.
It's such a rare, beautiful space. And you know, what's so interesting about where Harlem lies inside of historical, like, pedagogy and kind of like where it lands is just like it is the wealth corner of this city on so many ways, from a cultural wealth corner, from even right now when we think about people who are moving in, the value of the property, from the property value. It's just like from so many different sectors, this part of the island, for a historical standpoint, has given this global economy so much wealth. And so many opportunities to be able to see itself, but also to reimagine what the future can look like.
It is a fantastic voyage you're on that is really, like, I mean, amazing.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of what you're doing, and
Thank you
I'm
very much.
happy that I can be there and see some parts of it because it's enriching.
Thank you.
Tell me, we don't have much time left, so tell me what is the next season going to bring us?
Oh, so the next season. So the next season, we're still going to be NBT Beyond Walls. So that is kind of until we re-enter into our new building. That will be our next phase in which we are navigating. The next season is really focusing in on citywide partnerships. So we have a partnership with the Park Avenue Armory that we are doing a symposium around the celebration or the centennial of women's right to vote. It'll be the centennial year, the 100th year of women's right to vote. So we're doing symposium / some commissioned work there. So that's something that people can definitely look forward to.
Very interesting. Yes, I can't believe it's only 100 years.
It's only 100 years. And then, yes, I know. And then the other things that we're doing, we have a playwright residency program that we're continuing to invest in and do. And our two playwright in residence, Daryl Holmes and also Tracy Conyer Lee, will be workshopping their brand new pieces. And then we also have a partnership, which it's in the hush-hush stage, but our partnership with the Apollo, what our next iteration will be, because it will be, essentially the Apollo will be a space where we will help to bring Black artists into the space of access towards musical theater production. If we think about musical theaters and the history of musical theaters, many Black artists have not been able to be at all elements and all realms of it. And both Camilla Forbes and
I was gonna say
both Camilla Forbes
Camilla Forbes, you and Sade.
at the Apollo, and Sade and I at NBT were both radically invested in and want to back this idea of what does it look like to partner in that way. And then what people also can definitely look forward to is probably one more piece that we'll do inside of our building. That piece has not been discovered yet, but one more piece inside of our building just to say goodbye, and then also awaken the hello for the next iteration of what
and what
the
is
vision
going
will
to
be.
the new building?
So the new building will be a mixed-use building. It will be roughly about a 20-story building. Yes, it will be
20-story.
It will
building?
be some hospitality residential on the top, with a new state-of-the-art theater. The purpose of the redevelopment is to give NBT the grounding and the footing that we deserve to be a 21st century theater, to give access to Black artists with the newest and the freshest technology, to be able to do the work that we're asking them to do, but also be prepared for the field in which they want to, what we are trying to prepare them for. So in order to make that all happen, when our board looked at what was possible, and Sade, when we all were sitting at the table, it really looked at this redevelopment of the property. And we have been able to do some amazing work. We just got awarded a total of $15 million from the city to help do the redevelopment. There's still a lot more money that needs to be raised, but there's affirmation in every way, in every corner, that's just allowing us to be reminded that this next chapter is a chapter of possibility and abundance and grace. And if we lean on those three ideas, there's nothing that can stop us.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
And how long do you think it's going to take, this new redevelopment?
People can expect probably 5 years. I'm holding in my body 5 years. People are saying 2 years. I'm holding in my body 5 years. I mean, if anyone knows redevelopment, anyone knows building a building of that size, the calendar is always shifting. You say 1 year, and then it really turns to 2 to 3. And we've seen that along the corridor as the Victoria 5 project has been going, has been happening. Also with Studio Museum of Harlem with their beautiful project happening. They're all in motion, but it's the timeline is shifting and changing. And it's just the radical act of when you are shifting the ecology of a neighborhood and you're dealing with many different factors. There's many different ways in which you have to navigate city policy and different regulations. So we're deeply excited about the next chapter.
Fantastic. Congratulations and many, many wishes for that.
Thank you.
Jonathan, thank you so much for having spent your time with us and giving us all this incredible information and this richness. We will see you again, maybe also with Sade, and telling us about your new project and what's going on, the developments. And I want to thank you, our friends and family that are following my Harlem portraits. See you next time. Thank you.